Hi all my beautiful friends, brothers and sisters, fellow angels, fellow kings and queens of the light. Here I am in my life, and here you are in your life, and yeah, I so wish to share things that can remind you of what you already know, and things that help to guide you on your path. And I think just realizing that it's difficult for everyone. Life on earth is very challenging for everyone. I think not that you rejoice in other people's pain, but often we think that we're the only ones, but we're not. Life is really, really challenging because we're going from one way of being to another. And in many ways we're discovering how bad we've been. That doesn't sound very nice, but how stuck we've been and how blind we have been. And that's not real fun. That's not real fun. But the fun part of it is that we are loved and we are forgiven. I mean, there's no bad feelings from God, from the earth. The earth and this planet we're on that we have been destroying for so long, and our bodies, which is really, it's just a microcosmos, as macrocosmos. I mean, our earth is really just a little, our body is really the earth in a small form. Everything is reflected in each other. So the way we've been treating all this physical matter is so bad. And I was just seeing something yesterday on the internet. I'll just turn the light a bit, or turn this, because maybe I get better light. And you just saw all these films they've made of the garbage and all this bad stuff that's on the earth, the oceans that are ruined, and it's just so bad. And that's what we've been doing, and we have to face it. I mean, we have to face what we've been doing, and we have to become responsible for our own being. And that's, I think, very much what I want to share with you. What I really feel I've learned on my journey is to focus on yourself. And it's very difficult when you also realize that we are one. But that's really where the power is. And it's really not just, being good to myself, having a nice time. It's really taking responsibility for every single cell in your body, every single breath of air you take, every single thing you do, every single thought you make. I mean, it's enormous. And what we're doing is, we're moving. I mean, the reason why we've been so stuck, I mean, there's many reasons, but one reason is that the society had a structure, and when we were born, we were expected to fit into that structure. And it's a completely unspiritual way of being. I mean, we attempted this when we had our children. I felt very strongly. I didn't want to have them too not socialized, but I mean, in Denmark, when you have a baby, the first thing you do, even before you get pregnant, more or less, is to sign them up for an institution. And I just couldn't do that. It was just, it was completely against the grain of my being. Stuff them into an institution, get them institutionalized, as it's called, and they will be in an institution until maybe they're 40 years old. Many people, they spend a lot of time getting their education, because we live in a society where you're more or less paid to do everything. There's so many benefits for everything. I just feel it's so sick in so many ways. So, and really what I could see, what's happening in this society, well, people are very sick and very unwell and very unhappy. And if you're not an alcoholic, you're a pill addict, and you're I mean, many people are on medication just to live, just to survive. And I just knew with myself, this is, I mean, I'm a mother, I have a husband, we're going to live a natural life, and we're going to do the thing that I feel my heart that is true to my heart. And because my husband was also very much into nature and being natural in many ways, so it resonated very well with him, but he was not really the front runner. It was just really, I felt this is the way to do it. And it probably has had a price for our children in a way, but I'm pretty sure, or I know that they chose it, they wanted it, because it felt very right in this situation. That, see, what I wanted was for my children to feel that they are a being, and they are unique, and they are a soul in a human body, and it's very important that life is not too busy and just full of all this outer stuff that you have to do, so you're squashed into this system and you lose you never really connect with yourself. So that's really what it was all about for me, was to really connect with yourself, and we as parents to connect with the child as a unique being, a being that is also bringing messages and wisdom to us. We're not just stuffing a whole lot of wisdom into them, they're actually unfolding their light. And I would do it again the same way. I mean, I wouldn't, I think, and that's, yeah, so I really believe that's really what I feel the way of the future is to de-institutionalize ourselves and realize that there is a soul in here, there is a being in here that is very, very, very enlightened and very beautiful, and is God in human, I mean, it's God's light, it's the creator power that's in us, all of us, and we are also in it. It's all sacred, and there is a deep message that you're bringing to the earth, and there's also a deep message for you. And the only way you're going to find it, and the only way you're actually going to be joyful and live in harmony on the earth, is by connecting with it. You have to find it. So it's not just, it's actually a very, very big job, because we're completely allowing all the institution of our life to just fall apart, fall away. And that soul that we have not been connecting to for so long is so small and so faint, and so it's so difficult to connect with. We're undressing it. We're undressing all this stuff. And that is a huge process. So when and if you go on the path of saying, I'm going to look after myself now, you will sense that this is huge. This is not just something you just do. It's really, really huge. So, of course, if we have children, I mean, we have responsibility, I feel. I would never just leave my children. My grandmother did that. She found a lover and left. And, I mean, and for some people it is true, they just have to go. It's just too painful. But it just would not resonate with me to leave my children. I mean, you've brought them into the earth. You have to look after them. But they might have to accept that you can't. You'll be doing things your way. I mean, if you're the parent, you have to follow your heart. And it's got to the point today where it's actually often the children that are in control. So you hear these stories of, it's just a little funny story from Copenhagen, some of our family who said that many parents, they're completely out of control, and it's actually the little child that's in control. It's taken over all the control. So they saw them, they just told what they experienced, that this parent was saying to this little child that was maybe 2 years old, "Do you want to have your nappy changed now?" "No, I don't." "Okay, well, we won't then." I mean, that's how far it's gotten in some families, and I just don't agree with that. You're the parent, and you say how things are going to be done. And yeah, so anyway, for many of us, I think, seeing these videos, we don't have children, or our children are so grown up, so it's we don't have this great responsibility anymore. Yeah, so wherever you are in your life, I just encourage you to really allow yourself to start to connect with you, and to realize that there's something very, very powerful and very beautiful waiting there, and that the only way you're going to really connect with it and embody it is by giving it attention. The soul, I mean the ego, which is, as I see it, the ego is our false self. It's not our personality, because it's a healthy personality is part of our soul being. It's as I see it, because some people call the ego our personality. I use the same term as Eckhart Tolle does, where the ego is the false self, and the ego is the liar, is the one who's saying, now you better fit in, and you better do this, and you're not good enough, and you better prove to everyone that you're good enough, because you don't know anything, and you have to do all this study so that you know something, and all this stuff. It captures you in lies. Whereas our soul personality or soul self is completely true to our hearts. And so we're going from listening to that and being enslaved by our own ego to listening to our soul and our heart and letting it guide us. And just have some tea. So what I can see in my own life, and that's just really what I'm experiencing, and for some people it can sound really, really weird, and I am really weird in many ways for many people. That's okay. To actually start to, what I do is I just keep following my heart all the time with everything I do. And if you're staying in your relationship, what I sense is that this is a huge cleanser. This is apart from the heart, the love that you feel in your heart, which is really your true being, is love. Always connecting with this. And this love in your heart, which will completely enlighten you and make you feel good instantly, you'll feel peaceful, and you'll feel well. You have this core, you'll have a core feeling of wellness when you connect with this love in you. And it will just, and you know that we're all one, and because the heart will tell you. And so, yeah, so if you're in a relationship that you've decided to stay in, and most likely your partner will not really know what's going on. And of course it's important to be very clear about this and say, listen, I can't do this old thing anymore. I can't live as I did before. This is impossible. It's just too horrible. So I'm changing. I feel I'm changing, and I have to do this because otherwise I'm going to go mad. This is not right for me. And the person might just run away and just say, oh, this is just too horrible, so I'm going. So, and that's the way it has to be, I reckon. If you cling to that person, you'll just stay in that old way of being. And so, really, it comes down to every single thing you do, from the moment you open your eyes in the morning till you I mean every second of the day, to actually be completely true to yourself. And I can just say from experience, oh my goodness, this is so good. And I really believe that that was Jesus, what was Jesus's message to us. He says, go to your inner chamber and close the door where your God is in secret, and he will reward you. He says, be like a child. Only people who become like a child will enter into heaven. What does he mean? Does he mean going around smashing things and being stupid? Not thinking? No. He means be the natural you. Be the dancer, be the singer, be this child of joy. Allow this joyful child, this spontaneous child, to be you. And don't just do it on Saturdays or when you go and play tennis. Do it all the time. And that is your master. The child in you is the master in you. And that's what people couldn't understand that. And we find it hard to understand now, 2,000 years later. But that's what I feel he was saying. And what more does he say? He says to the man who he's burying his father. He's at the funeral of his father, and Jesus walks past, as far as I can remember. And Jesus says, come with me, follow me. And he says, oh, but I will. I just have to bury my father. And Jesus says to him, come now. Let the dead bury the dead. I mean, that is a very, very powerful thing to say. I mean, he's really, what he's saying is that you might have responsibility towards your family, but that will never be as important as following me. And what does he mean by following me? Become a Christian and tell everyone else to become a Christian? No. Not as I see it. He says, be the light. Be the light that you are. Live in love. Live in purity. Be the true you. And even if you have to do something before you can be the true you, you're going to have to just do it now. Right now. And then you can... Yeah, so it's really... And he's saying that you are the most important. You have to fix yourself. You have to heal yourself. You have to do the work. You have to take the step. Nobody's going to do it for you. So, this is just huge. Yeah, so what was I saying before? I was saying this is a very, actually a very difficult thing to do. But the wonderful, wonderful thing about it is that, of course, your life will transform, and you will live in bliss. So going back to Jesus in the Bible, the whole Bible, I think it's the message to us is to create from your heart, and that is really, I think, the book of Revelation, the new earth that comes. When we awaken, we have to start to live from our hearts, so that all the rules of life, all the so-called institutions that will be created from the heart. We will not use structures, outer structures, that we have to fit into anymore. It's going to stop, because it's not alive, it's dead. So we will, the new earth is coming up from our hearts, and the way we create the new earth is to start with each person, create that institution for yourself, create that life, that how you structure your life. Let every single thing you do come from your heart. And it's possible, and it's actually not just possible, it's very beautiful. And the thing is, you get to structure your life so it becomes graceful. All the things I can say, there's so many things I can say. Well, first of all, you'll feel so good that you really feel that you are in bliss more and more. You feel the peace, you feel the love, you feel the oneness, You feel it like you always have the answer. You're completely safe. The answers and the help and the security, you realize very quickly, will never come from outside you. It comes from inside you. And all you need to do is just keep connecting with it, and it will flow out. It's just so beautiful and so wonderful. And so it is really being born again. You were born into prison, and you chose to go there. And we created it ourselves, that prison that we've been in, that made people sick and the earth sick. And now we're being told that you can be born again from your heart. So it's really, in a way, it's birthing this baby that is you, your soul, out of your heart. Birth it out of your, not the birth canal, but your heart. Birth the baby out of your heart. Because it's not even been allowed to be born. It's just been stuffed into this society and told what to do. And told that it's worthless, and it's it's going to have to make its way and prove that it has value. And it's just the old world. So yeah, birth yourself. So when you're sitting in your life right now and you feel that that's the first sign, you see that this is so uncomfortable. This life I'm in is so uncomfortable. And for some of us, we just have to take our bags, or not even take our bags, just take a couple of things and go. Just start going, just leave. And it takes a lot of courage, but if you feel this, you're being told, go away from this, just leave it. No, that you will be fine. You will be just fine. You'll be, a whole new life will unfold for you. You don't die from just taking your bag and going away. Just start walking. And the help is out there. The world is full of angels and love beings now. So many people have awakened. And if you meet someone who's not nice to you, you're just being reminded that you have to connect more with the love in your heart. And be kind where you go. Be loving where you go. Shine your light. And your light will be shone back to you. So you will be helped. And so it's so powerful. This is so powerful. And for you who feel, and that's what was very strong for me, because I'm so connected to this land. And it was very much me who wanted to live here when we buy this place. And I just kept being pulled back. And so I left in the house. And that is very, very challenging. I think it's more difficult, but and it takes a lot of courage. It also takes a lot of accepting that the person you're with, you're simply not doing anything for anymore. You just leave them alone, actually ignoring them. And that is really it can feel very horrible to do that. But this was very important for me because, and that's what I've said several times before, that is the way to help. Because as long as you have these unspoken of attachments to each other, where you sort of not really talked about it honestly, but you just keep doing something that your partner's expecting, you're holding them down and you're never freeing yourself. You don't set yourself free. You don't set yourself free till you completely do what's right for you. And so what I did was say to my partner, listen, I have to do this and I have to live honestly. If I'm not honest, I feel I'm not loving to you. That has nothing to do with love, if I'm dishonest. So I have to do what's true for me. And I know that there's different things in our home I need to do, and if I go to the bathroom, I don't leave a complete mess. I make sure it's nice for you. I clean up after myself and do my thing. I show you respect in that way. And there's also some chores that need to be done. But what I suggested was we sit down and say, okay, who's going to do what? And just agree and I mean find ways to structure life so that both are satisfied that it's okay. And it's been really, really strange, of course, for my husband. But it's like, it is in a way like moving and becoming a new person. That's what he feels, I'm a different person. And so it's even to just saying, and it's still going on, because we're still in this process of me taking responsibility for my inner well-being, for my life, cleaning up, I mean really becoming clear about who I am and standing in my own light, and him doing the same, taking responsibility for his life, for his being. And if we do anything together, we ask, do you feel like doing this and this? And the other one has the right to say, no thank you, I don't feel like it. Do you want to sleep with me? See, we don't sleep together, we still have sex together, but I feel it's very important. And actually my husband also, to sleep alone has become important, because your energy, you're healing so much during the night, and it's really just allowing your body to be in its own energy. So we haven't slept together for a long time, and sometimes we'll sleep together, sometimes we'll have sex, might not be in the bed, and it all comes from out of us feeling, this is what I want to do. Do you feel like this? No? Okay. So and it is so powerful. And what I got so clearly today was that this is a cleanser. This cleans away all addiction, all dependency, all lies, all hidden things. You have to stand and be, and this, it's all about communication also. To communicate, this is me, this is what I want to do, and the other one to be clear and say yes and no. And if they can't say no, that's their problem. They have to sort out, okay, how can I actually want to say no, but I don't dare to say no. That's their problem. So it takes so much courage, especially if you feel that you're a helper, and but I really, really feel this is the greatest gift I can give. Yeah, it's just healing the earth. I just feel this is so powerful. So, and if I don't feel like saying anything and just doing my thing, that's what I do. You might feel very uncomfortable. Why is she not saying something? Well, if my husband wants to say something, communicate something, say something. And for a person, for people who've grown up in families where you don't communicate, it's very, very challenging, because what do I want to say? Well, how do I want to say it? And that's their job. They have to figure it out themselves, learn it themselves, if they want to. So, oh, this is just so beautiful. So I've just been out milking and doing the animals, and it's really wet and muddy, actually. But I just have this sentence going, I love my life. I love my life so much. I love it so much. And everything I love to do, I'm doing. I love it so much. And I know that I want to be here for the children. Not all our children wish contact with us, but the two of them who wish to have contact with us, I wish to be there as a mother who loves her children and supports them. And as one of our children said the other day to my husband, I think I need to talk to Mum and have a bit of therapy. So I know I can support in a way, and the way I support is to always say, follow your heart. So I have a little story I'll share in the next video. So much coming. See you, my friend.